Previously on Keep and Destroy.
Hi, Adam. It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm really enamored with the film that this is based on.
It's a man versus nature type of storyline.
Humpa!
Could that be the Tony that's in season 2?
Aha! Good spot there, yeah.
Garato Zabaras Aquatan!
I have a very controversial Thunderbird's opinion. I definitely prefer Thunderbird 1 to Thunderbird 2.
What? Torchy is scary. No, it's not. It's just this stupid, dumb pile of crap.
Dude, I just want to go home.
Hello there and welcome to Keep and Destroy. I'm your host, Adam Luff. This is the Gerry Anderson podcast where I interview his fans and ask what 5 of their favourites do they want to keep and what 5 of their least favourites do they want to destroy. As mentioned in the last episode, my interview with Ben Page is a 2-parter, and so now we'll begin his destroy list.
Well, I wouldn't like to destroy any of them, but since you've made me, Adam, since you put me out on a limb here.
You're the second person that thinks that destroy is too harsh. I need to put a bloody disclaimer now saying it's only a pun on seek and destroy. That's all it is. Oh dear. Never mind. So yeah, what would you like to destroy?
I'm going to destroy Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons. Spectrum Strikes Back.
Well, I don't think you'll be able to destroy Captain Scarlet or even the Mysterons because they both have vector metabolism.
They will be back.
All right, so Spectrum Strikes Back, eh?
Where are its legs?
I love how bold it is, but I'm never quite able to suspend my disbelief with Captain Scarlet. The lapses in logic or the unexplained matters, such as how the Mysterons work. How does it work that Captain Scarlet gets his retro metabolism? How he escapes from Mysteron control when Captain Black and others are not able to? All that stuff kind of trips me up. But then they throw in a Mysteron detector. And I'm like, what is a Mysteron detector? How do you detect a Mysteron?
Did you not see Operation Time? Spectrum Strikes Back is a follow-up to Operation Time. Your argument, I won't say it's invalid, but it works when you piece it with Operation Time.
I've only seen Operation Time once, so it's time for a rewatch, I think. This episode also has the kind of like subplot of the house that's gonna crush them. And it's like, what purpose does this serve, this house that lowers? It feels very like a misuse of the Gerry Anderson formula. And on top of that, why wouldn't you put in some sort of failsafe to keep it from crushing people underneath? I do like this episode. I don't want to be too hard on it, but it's definitely on my destroy list. Space 1999, The Dorkons. I had a really hard time getting through the second half of Space 1999.
You're not the only one.
I do love some of the episodes that are so bad they're good. So the episodes that some people hate, like The Rules of Luton or Brian the Brain, that are just terrible, unbearably bad.
Too right.
But those episodes are fun to me because you can roast them and make fun of them. Some of the year 2 episodes of Space 1999 are just kind of boring and forgettable. Yeah. And it's a shame that The Dorkons is one of those because it's got a great guest star in the form of Patrick Troughton.
Without a doubt, yes, he is the highlight.
He's such a great actor, and it's such a shame that they don't use him to better extent. But it's kind of a fizzle for the series to end on after hitting some really high notes earlier on.
It kind of does have a nice full circle feel to it as far as the character of Maya is concerned.
Right, Maya's the kind of the silver lining on the whole second season.
I've always felt that a finale should have all the cast together. So you have that final moment with everybody before the show ends. Although the Alphans do appear for the most part, the moment Conan gets on board the Dorkan ship, that's it. We never see the Alphans until Maya and Conan get back. We never cut to any scenes on Alpha of them like trying to get Conan back because it just felt like they were forgotten about for the second half of the episode. It's a bittersweet sort of ending as well because this was obviously the last episode that Gerry had made before Terrorhawks, which would have been like 6 years later or something, because this was obviously during his divorce, which began the wilderness era of his career.
I think I would have liked to have seen more Gerry Anderson feature films in general. What's the name of the film that he was going to make in Israel?
I think it was Operation Shockwave.
That's right, Operation Shockwave. That's quite an intriguing concept.
If I remember rightly, that was more of a spy film.
Yeah, 5-Star 5 would have been intriguing to me.
Although I'd love to read the script if I ever got the chance, but I actually think Gerry dodged a bullet with that one, because obviously with Star Wars coming out, and 5-Star 5 probably would have come out maybe in the early 80s. I just feel that it would have been lumped with the likes of Battle Beyond the Stars or Star Crash or Star Chaser or whatever.
Right. See, I was coming at it from the perspective of, if it had been made in that time, it would have had a better chance of getting made. Before that, a lot of science fiction films were written off as B movies. But after Star Wars, they kind of got a chance to be treated a little bit more legitimately. Yeah, it's interesting that you have a different perspective on it, that it wouldn't have stood out at all. Space Precinct, illegal.
You mean this episode illegal? One thing I can't stand about Space Precinct is, whose idea was it for the on-screen titles to put this episode above the title? We know it's this episode, and it's also repetitive because we already had this episode on the opening credits montage. Because at least with Space 1999, yeah, they still had this episode, and I always thought it was pretty stupid in that as well, but at least they didn't put this episode on the on-screen title. And even Thunderbirds, the kids show that you would have thought would be spelling things out to people, they never bothered. Well, it's not just Gerry Anderson shows that were known for doing this. The Streets of San Francisco had a narrator announcing each episode.
Tonight's episode, Death Watch.
So can you imagine if Thunderbirds did this? This episode, Lord Parker's holiday. Cool, I'm in this. I don't know. I don't know why they had this episode all the time. Because otherwise, I like this episode. So, what is it that you don't like about Illegal?
I don't really buy the whole plot, and obviously illegal immigration is a hot topic in America. So it's something that's really interesting to me, and I think could be done really well. And then to see it done so sloppily and not really explore the nuances of the issue.
Yeah, I get you.
Would have been really interesting. So I was kind of like, ooh, this is going to be like an illegal immigration story, which is kind of like the niche of Space Precinct, that it can tackle topical subjects, but do it in a different kind of setting.
Yeah.
That's kind of sci-fi and visually interesting. And so to see them kind of miss it, it's a shame, really, especially after so much pre-production trying to get it to the screen.
As an actual show, I think I would rather have seen Space Police than Space Precinct, because I think with Space Police, it knew what it was. It was just this fun family show.
Right.
Space Precinct was a bit schizophrenic. It didn't know whether it was trying to be hard-hitting adult themes or goofy aliens. Because I always look at the aliens, even though it's good animatronic masks and things like that, they're just cartoon characters, so they're appealing for the kids. And Slow-Mo, who's obviously a byproduct of Space Police.
He doesn't quite fit. Fireball XL5, Flying Zodiac. There's some episodes of Fireball XL5 that have a really strong film noir vibe, where they're kind of creepy and kind of Twilight Zone and kind of eerie, but also just a lot of like sheer goofiness. And that's kind of what we have going on in Flying Zodiac, where
Yeah, true.
where they're talking about Steve's heritage from a circus performing family. To my knowledge, I don't think they mentioned that before or anywhere else. I could be wrong, Adam, but
No, it's never brought up ever again. That's one of the problems, not only with Gerry Anderson's shows, but just television of this period, where they usually would just make up something new for this week.
And you've got Boris and Griselda, who are kind of like a Russian version of Master Spy and Zarin, but
Yeah, and David Graham voicing the weaker of the two, as he did with Zarin. I'm not a big fan of the space spies, but the weird thing is, actually, they're not called Boris and Griselda, and they're not called space spies in Flying Zodiac. My guess is they just had some generic villains in this episode, and then
Right.
they thought, oh, we're going to use these puppets again and call them the space spies.
right, that would make sense.
When it comes to the regular villains, I preferred the Subterraneans, because at least they had some threat, and they had a menace to them.
But Flying Zodiac, man, it's a drag to watch. When puppets do physical activities like skiing in Thunderbirds or ice skating in Stingray, the trapeze act doesn't have that quality.
Yeah, there's that weird moment when Jock leaps off the trampoline. I wish they just didn't bother with that shot. They should have just cut away at that point.
Supercar, Precious Cargo.
I like that episode. I like season 2. I think everyone hates it, I think. I've always preferred season 2 over season 1, to be honest. More controversial opinions, I guess.
There's again a lot of juvenile and silliness stuff like you see in Fireball XL5, and some of that really hits home with Professor's sister, Heidi. I guess, would she be Heidi Popkiss?
I think so, yeah. There's no mention of her being married or anything like that. And you've seen the look of that puppet. Who'd want to marry that? That is a hideous looking puppet.
Whoa, put her back in. She's not done yet.
There are some very strange puppets in the early days.
Yes.
Is this the one where ZZ sings the song?
No, that's Day That Time Stood Still.
I really hate that song.
I've heard worse, the Zelda rap, but yeah, ZZ song is not a good one.
When I was in France, I was so lonely, me so happy here in USA.
Who's that bad?
I'm that bad.
Well, everybody knows that she's that bad. Wicked, cruel, vicious, mean. Coolest cat you ever seen.
Now I try to speak English only, but I find him très difficile to say.
I'm the hag I think you mean. I'm lovely, bad, and really mean.
Well, la la la, ça la vie pour Sissi.
That, do the rest. Everybody move to the Zelda rap.
Oh la la la, ça la vie pour toi.
That, do the rest. Everybody groove.
I would definitely take the Zelda rap over the ZZ song personally. And then kind of like the relationship between ZZ and Jimmy is kind of nauseating, as it is earlier in Flight of Fancy. The notion of like Jimmy's adolescent fantasies in terms of like a princess or a little French girl are kind of like, what?
They've practically got a mail order bride from France.
Right. Which is disturbing on its own level.
It's even more disturbing when she comes out of the box. Mike Mercury says,
pretty cute, too.
Calm down, Mike.
Whoa.
Adam!
She's illegal on multiple levels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, legal immigrant. I hope Aunt Heidi's got the immigration paperwork sorted.
Alan Patilla directs this one. All of Alan Patilla's episodes have a certain energy to them, which I appreciate. He definitely didn't approach it like directing a kid's show or a puppet show. He approached it like directing a film and using all the story techniques.
Yeah, because the wine cellar sequence, the lighting of that alone when ZZ and Jimmy are hiding from Monsieur Laval. Yeah, that's a pretty good point, actually. And it's also the debut of a very underused piece of Barry Gray's music. You know the sequence when Monsieur Laval picks up the barrel and is about to throw it at the kids? And that bit of music, which was later used in Captain Scarlet, Inferno, and Codename Europa?
I forgot about that, yeah.
How do you feel about the list? Are there any that you wish you could have brought up?
Yeah, I definitely have a few honorable mentions. I'm a huge fan of some of the underrated shows, like, The Day After Tomorrow, actually, is one that I haven't talked to you about, but I love The Day After Tomorrow a lot. I think I would have rather have a series of The Day After Tomorrow than a second season of Space 1999. I do have a bit of a soft spot for the Protectors as a kind of neglected child in the Anderson canon.
There are some episodes I do really enjoy, like The First Circle, Vocal, The Big Hit, Brotherhood. What was the other one? The one that Sylvie wrote. With a Little Help from My Friends. That was a really good one, I thought.
The Secret Service, I'm a huge fan of, which I know you are too.
Definitely, yes. So depressed that neither of us have picked an episode of that.
I was really right on the fence.
Yeah.
The episode Errand of Mercy, it fits so well to have a dream sequence in the Secret Service because the whole thing is kind of surreal. The flying Model T.
Yeah.
Plus, there's so much potential for Father Brown type stories.
Yes. I remember we talked about Father Brown recently. I forget which episode it is, which is very reminiscent of Mayday, Mayday, of a priest flying a plane. I thought, wow, that is so weird.
It's so charming and British. I think being an American, there's a tendency to kind of romanticize British culture. Hence why Americans are really into later episodes of The Avengers.
Yeah, I love The Avengers as well.
A fascination with the quirky side of British culture.
I just wish when I studied in San Francisco that people would bring up The Avengers or the Secret Service. No, when I was there, all they kept bringing up was bloody Harry Potter. I don't care for Harry Potter. Talk to me about classic Doctor Who, James Bond, or anything from Gerry Anderson or the Avengers. No, most of them didn't even know what these things were.
Yeah, which was really frustrating to me growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't have any friends who knew what it was. Even the Avengers was kind of a stretch. People think you're talking about Marvel Comics, even then, before the movies.
If Cine Marionette was to remake a Gerry Anderson show, which one would you want to remake?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I love the Secret Service, so I'd love to explore that. But also, I feel like Captain Scarlet, what I've seen of new Captain Scarlet, I haven't seen all of it, I wasn't satisfied with. So I think Captain Scarlet is one that I'd like to explore.
This is a day I've long feared.
The Misserons have taken control of Scarlet again.
Yeah, that's my answer. Captain Scarlet.
Any projects with Cine Marionette that you have lined up that you want to promote?
Yeah, we're in pre-production for our first feature film, which is called Astral Beacon. It's about a father who is hiding in a deep space lighthouse, and he's haunted by the ghost of his dead daughter. And the man who killed his daughter crashes on the rocks, the asteroids outside the lighthouse, and he has to decide what he's going to do about that. And you can learn more about it at astralbeaconfilm.com.
I look forward to seeing it, Ben, and it's been great having you on the show.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks so much for having me on the show. It's a real privilege to come on and ramble about Gerry Anderson with someone who's a fan.
And thank you, the audience, for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like to donate to the show to help it continue, please donate me on Buy Me a Coffee or GoFundMe. The links are in the description. And this is Adam Luff, signing out.